All right, friends, now we're moving on to the next lesson where we're going to now be using the algorithm, but this time regrouping is going to be required. Back in the day, and I know sometimes I often still do, we called it carrying the one. So we're going to try to get out of that habit and teach this from the perspective of regrouping. So let's jump in and look. Okay, so we're still on our same standard number sense in operation two. If you're with me in Florida, other states will be a little bit different. And our same benchmark, 2.1. All right, so we have a problem like this. Granny Amy's watch here showed that she walked 3,468 steps on Monday and 2,713 steps on Tuesday. How many steps did Granny Amy take both days? All right, so we would have 3,468 plus 2,713. All right, so the same steps of how they learned the algorithm in the last one, but we're gonna, when you first introduce this, we wanna go over to the side and write those sums of the different place values so the students can visually see that regrouping. So 8 ones and 3 ones, that gives us 11 ones, which now we need to regroup that because we can't write an 11 here. That would be a question I would ask students. Well, can I write an 11 here? Well, then what do I do with the 6 and the 1? Well, we're going to regroup. So we regroup 11 as 110 and 1 1. Okay. So I would, as I'm teaching this, say 8 plus 3 is 11. So that's 1 1 and a 10 that I am going to regroup with my other 10s. Like I said, try to get away from saying carrying. I mean, if you think about a little mind that has not yet been introduced, we know exactly what we mean when we say carry the one. But picture a student who's just being introduced to this. I mean, they're probably literally thinking about somebody carrying a one in their hands. So try to get in the habit of using regrouping terminology. So 110 and 610 and 110, we'll add those. So that's 10 plus 60 plus 10, which is 80. That's 8 tens. I can write an 8 here that shows 810. No regrouping is required. Now we have 400s and 700s. So 400 plus 700 is 1,100. Now regrouping is required. So we will regroup 1,100 as 1,000 and 100. Okay, so then we would say, all right, 400 and 700 is 1,100. So that's 100. I'm going to regroup the 1,000 with the other thousands. 1,000 plus 3,000 plus 2,000. Well, we would have 1,000 plus 3,000 plus 2,000 gives us a total of 6,000. Okay, so again, just trying to get in the habit of using that regrouping terminology. It's more precise. Also, it's going to help your students continue to have that, build their understanding of place value, which is going to be so important. That is one of the biggest things that students struggle with when they don't have that foundation of place value. So every time we say this, we are reinforcing place value instead of saying, okay, well, 1 plus 6 plus 1 is 8. No, reinforce that place value. 100 plus 110, see? 110 plus 6 tens plus 1 10 is 8 tens. So really important to do that. I have a little problem that you might could use. I mentioned in the last lesson that there is a math language routine called critique, correct, and clarify. And students rewrite a response from an example that's incorrect, incomplete, or otherwise ambiguous. So Mrs. Seals, one of my favorite math teachers, found this following sum. Ms. Seals asked students to write why the 1 was written on top of the 3. This was a response from a student. 5 plus 6 is 11, so we have to carry the 1. Now this again is an ambiguous response. What does carry the 1 mean? So you can have your students work with their partner to rewrite this response to the question, why was the one written on top of the three, to have them work with their partner to rewrite a better response. And that again will help instill that language routine. These language routines, they came out of Stanford University, and they're a great way to help students get comfortable with talking about math. And so a better response that we would be looking for is something like, well, when we have add 5 and 6, we have 11. So we regroup the 11 as 110 and 1 1. And then we regroup the 10 with my other 10s, 3 and 2. Those are the kind of things you're looking for as you have them rewrite that response. All right, my friends, I hope you all enjoy this lesson. We'll see you in the next one.